Join the team.
No, you can't eat one. It's for the game, man. It's metaphorical. Absolutely not. You cannot eat one. I know you. You can't eat one. Spit it out! Spit it out! Hey, this is the McGuire Review, and today we're going to be taking a look at a brand new game that is hitting Kickstarter today. It's going to be Robert B. Koch's Epic Monster Tea Party. Now, this is from Playco Games. We've got another game here which I have done a review on in the past, and I highly recommend this game, Civicus, the dice game from Playco Games. This is an awesome multiplayer game. I will put that down to the side here because today's efforts are not for Civicus, but I definitely recommend to go pick that one out and check out the review because it is a really, really fun game. So let's get back to Epic Monster Tea Party from Playco Games. So this one's at 2 to 4 players, 8+, 20 minutes, but I've found you can crank through these games a lot faster than 20 minutes, and it's a family-oriented game. So this is a family kids game, and you know, one thing that I will say that's done really well with the Epic Tea Party here is this one, the design is very simple. The artwork is very cartoony. It's really fun. It's really vibrant and engaging. But it's fun for adults to play this game as well. And now I haven't sat down and just played this game with a group of adults, but with kids and adults, it's a great game. I have a ton of fun playing it. I've seen other adults having a ton of fun playing this with kids. So, you know, whenever the kids want to play this one, it's definitely not one where I'm like, all right, we'll get it out, we'll set it up, we'll play, and then, okay, let's get it back in the box. This is one that I'm happy to get out every single time, and I'm excited to play as an adult as well because it is a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and get into the unboxing and what we're going to find here in the box. And I will mention that it is the same size as our Civicus box. So if we look at that, if you have purchased Civicus in the past, that is the exact same size box. So you'll know it's small, it's portable, it's easy to travel with, which is another thing that I really like from the Playco Games. Most of what I've seen out of them so far have been packaged in boxes that are about this big. So that's good, and I do suggest to continue with that theme because it makes them go on the shelf really easy. You can put a lot of their games all stacked together, and you can travel with them easily. So I will say that I have this sheet of paper here, and this is for the review edition that was sent to me by Playco Games. This isn't final production quality stuff, which you're going to see here. Some of the components are, some of them are not. They're going to be built out. They're going to be made better through the Kickstarter campaign. So these are the rules that I have, and we'll set those aside because the rules are very simple. You can see everything that I need to play the game is just right on those front and back sheets there. So I'm assuming that the final rulebook is going to be fairly small. We'll get into the box. The box has got the same quality that our Civicus box would have, so I believe that's probably production quality. The box is really nice. We'll go ahead and set that up right here. And then you're going to find a bag that's going to have our main component, which is our heroes. And they're little wood-based meeples. And the thing that I really like about these, and I'll dump these out, you can see how many there are. What I really like about this is the great artwork that's on the front and the backs of these. We'll have some pictures up close here at the end, and we'll be playing with these. We're going to do a little bit of a gameplay explanation here in a minute, but I'll hold this up and you'll see there is artwork on the front, and it's kind of like a very, very transparent sticker that's on that wood, and then there are artwork that's on the back. And on the very back of each one of these, it has a number and it has a word. So basically every one of these little heroes as you play the game will either be worth victory points if you're able to sip them into your belly. In your cup of tea, or they will be worth a ability that you can activate and use and not place them in your tea and not gain those victory points. So we'll talk a little bit about more what that means when we get into the gameplay, but I like that every one of these little heroes isn't just a generic hero. They do have various different abilities, and you'll see there is a warrior, there's a cleric, there is a mage. What do we got here? There's a bard, there is a kind of like a rogue type character. There is a king and a queen that are worth a lot of victory points. And then there's kind of this elvish kind of bowman, sort of a woodland type character that's here. I believe that is all of our different type of characters. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 characters that are in this set, and a king and a queen. And only one of those because they're worth a high point value. Now, they don't have any ability per se printed right on them, but they do say wild, which means you can squish this character and not get the victory points. And what I mean high is they're each 7 victory points. It's a wild. You basically can take the ability of any one of these characters if you want to squish that character and not put it in your cup of tea. So let's go ahead and pull these together here, because I'm going to put them into my hero pool in just a minute after we get through the rest of our components. So they do include 4 of these nice little bags, and these are your standard kind of, cloth. It's got that velvety kind of feel and look to it. But those are your bags that you're going to be using, and those bags are going to represent the stomach of each one of your monsters, because in this game, you actually play the monsters. Here's going to be the bag to hold your hero pool, so we'll put all of our heroes in that bag here in a second. And the last component we have are the monsters. And these are great. I mean, they have fantastic artwork on the fronts of these cards. Some of them do have names, some of them do not. I believe that that's going to be built out once we have a production copy and it gets through the Kickstarter. But I'll show each one of these. There's a dragon character, and you'll see this little teacup here. That's where you're going to be putting your heroes. So we'll go ahead and put our dragon here. Here's the next one. This one does have a name, Trolley Polly. That's a really cool there. And then it's got that teacup as well. We've got sort of a stone giant, or just a big, giant kind of orc type character or ogre type character. We'll put that there. I got a buddy that calls these ogres, so I like to call them ogres. And then we got the Stony Bones, which is a really cool, this is probably my favorite character. It's like this purple walking sort of tree/crystal rock monster, and then its teacup as well. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your stomachs, your bags here, and I'm going to do the coloring just simply as red goes with the dragon, brown with trolley here, purple with the stony walking crystal green growing thing, and then with our giant ogre. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put all of our characters, our little heroes here, into the hero pool. That's the first thing you're going to do, and you'll see there are quite a few of these. Now we're ready to play the game. So the game is very simple. So we'll go ahead and draw bag this and kind of shake this up so all of our heroes are in random assortment within our bag. And then we're going to name the first player. Now in this game, it isn't necessarily the youngest player. A lot of these kid games, the youngest player goes first. In this one, it's the thirstiest player. So who's ever most thirsty is going to go first in this game. The rotation will go to that player's left. So we're just going to go ahead and say that our dragon player here is the thirstiest in the game, so that's going to be player number 1. And it doesn't really matter too much on round 1 who player number 1 is, so don't get too caught up in that, determining who is the thirstiest player. So what you're going to do is you're going to draw a hero from the bag when it's your turn. And you're going to look at that hero. Okay, well, I happen to draw one of the little warrior characters. Well, that warrior character, if I flip it over and look at the backside, tells me that he's worth 1 victory point if I can get him from my teacup into my belly, or he allows me to drink my tea. That's a special ability. Well, it's round 1, and I don't have anything in my teacup, so there'd be no point in trying to activate his ability and drinking my tea. I'd basically be just taking a sip of tea, and there'd be no heroes in that tea, and that's not what we want. These monsters love to eat some heroes now. So what we're going to want to do is go ahead and just place that warrior right in our cup of tea, and that's where he'll stay. Now it's the next player's turn, and you'll see how quickly this game plays out. Well, I drew one of the little green guys. Now these guys are a problem for monsters because they are worth 6 victory points, which is high, but their special ability is puke. So what happens here is there is no ability that you activate with these. They immediately go in your tea and they kind of sour your tea. So once I drink this cup of tea and this hero goes into my stomach, it makes the monster puke and immediately have to take 2 heroes out of the bag that go back in the pool. So it's just kind of a mechanic that will, randomly get other heroes that you may have drank into your stomach back out, and those might be high point value heroes. So it's now the next player's turn, and I drew a cleric. Cleric is worth 3 points, or I can redraw. Early in the game, I'm going to go ahead and take those 3 points and put that right in my cup of tea. It's now the final player's turn for this first round, and I drew a warrior. Going to go ahead and put that right in the cup of tea. So now, round 1 is done. We're going to go ahead and start with the first player again. We'll play a few rounds here just to give you a feel. So the next one I drew, Ah, okay, it's like the rogue type character. So 4 victory points, or I can steal a character from another person's tea. Well, there's nothing really out there just yet. So I'm going to go ahead and just take that and put it in the old cup of tea there, and hopefully I can pull another warrior that'll allow me to squish that warrior, use the ability, and drink that tea into my stomach. So now it's Charlie's turn, Mage. Now, a Mage is worth 5 points. That's a pretty good character. And it also allows the ability to spill. So, you know, this character here has 5 points. And, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just squish the character. They are now out of the game. So we'll just go ahead and put it in the box there, out of the game. And I'm going to make this dragon character, so it's anybody that you choose, go ahead and spill their cup of tea, and these warriors then, these heroes, fall out of the tea and go back into the pool. They're not out of the game, they go back into the pool. Now, another thing I could have done is actually spilled my own tea, and that may have been a good thing to do if I would have thought ahead a little further, is to actually spill my own cup of tea and get this little poison guy out of my tea and back into the labyrinth. That's what they call this here, this black bag, the labyrinth. But I didn't do that, so I'm going to go ahead and move on. So now it's the next player's turn, and let's do a draw. Oh, we got the queen. All right, so this is worth 7 points, or it's a wild. I'm going to go ahead and take those 7 points, put it in my tea, and hope the next round I get a warrior. Last person's turn. Okay, another warrior. I'm going to go ahead and just put that in the tea, and we're back to the dragon. So you can see how quickly these rounds are playing out. We got a rogue, and it's a steal. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and squish that rogue out of the game, and I'm going to steal that queen and put that now in my tea. So you'll see as the game plays out, since there's only 1 queen, 1 king, those are going to be stolen quite a bit round to round. All right, Trolley's turn. All right, we've got a warrior. So I'm going to go ahead and check this out. I'm going to go ahead and squish that warrior, and I'm going to drink the tea, putting it into the stomach, immediately puking that back up and putting it in the labyrinth. Now, the reason why I did that is because I want to go ahead and just get that out of the way and not jeopardize other higher point totals that are going to be in here later in the game. Now, the other side of that is you could have said, well, you could have just left it, drank it, and then hoped that lower point values get pulled out because that one's worth 6. So you can see some strategy there and some trade-off. But since it's so early in the game, I'll go ahead and just get it out of the way. Next player. All right, warrior. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the cup of tea. Next player, let's see what we got. And a mage that will spill. Interesting. I'm going to go ahead and smash that mage, force this player to spill their cup of tea, and it goes back in the labyrinth. So now I've just taken that because on the next turn, this player could have pulled a warrior and then been able to squish and get in. So round starts. All right, cleric. I'm going to go ahead and put that in. We'll go trolley. Oh, cleric. Go ahead and put it in. We'll go stone. Cleric, you know what? I'm going to put it in the teacup, and now I'm getting a high point teacup on the ogre. And now we've got a 1. I'm going to go ahead and smush and go ahead and drink this cup of tea and get at least 2 victory points in my stomach. That's where we'll stop as far as gameplay, and I'll show you just how many warriors we still have in the bag. So in the labyrinth, we still got all these warriors, and basically what you would do is you would continue that quite fast round play until the labyrinth is empty and there's no warriors. At that point, you would immediately drink whatever in your tea, and then you would empty your stomachs and count up the victory points that are on the back of each one of your little wooden heroes here. Put that on your card, kind of number facing up so everybody can clearly see how many victory points you have. And the person with the highest victory point total wins. Now, there are some tie-breaking rules. If you had the same amount of victory points, it's then the player that has the highest point total character. If there's still a tie, it would then be the character that has the highest ranking character, much like the kings or the queens. So if someone ended up having a king and a queen, and they both had a king or a queen, then it would kind of go to, well, who has the bard? So there's various rule sets here to be able to break those ties, but basically you're going to, most of the time, have the situation where one of the players is going to have just a highest victory point total. So that's Epic Monster Tea Party. This is a great game. Cannot recommend this more. It is a super fun game for kids. I have a great time playing that as an adult, and you just saw there how quickly we were able to go through those rounds to play that game. Again, it's a 20-minute game, but if we were moving at the speed that we were moving at, we probably would have been able to get this done a lot quicker. And I think you'll find that, you know, the more you play this game, kids are going to have fun almost kind of rushing through it. Like, okay, give me the bag. All right, what do I want to do? Smash it or put it in the tea. And they're going to start making these tactical decisions, because I would say this game is more tactical than strategic. They're going to start making those tactical, quick decisions pretty fast, and it's going to build that skill set for them. So again, high recommendation. Great job on this one, Playco Games. So once again, Epic Monster Tea Party, go back it. You won't be sorry. So hit that like, click the subscribe below to join the team, ring the bell. This has been the McGuire Review, and we'll see you next time.